My name's Jessica Flowers. Welcome to Smell the Flowers Yoga, where it is my goal that together we will practice some mindfulness, slow down, and appreciate some of the simple pleasures like stopping to smell the flowers. So we'll start in a comfortable seat. So just have your legs crossed, if that's comfortable for you. I like to have one just resting in front of the other, and just have a nice upright seat. You might want to sit up on something like a block or a blanket. Otherwise, I don't think we'll really need any props for today's practice. You might want a blanket for under your knees, particularly if you're on a harder floor. But other than that, I don't think we'll need much for today. So just start to settle in, notice your breath, maybe close your eyes. I got some new fun little things this week, so one of the things I missed from practicing in a yoga studio was the things like the singing bowls or the chimes. And one of my online teachers has actually been using the chimes a lot at the end to help wake us up out of Shavasana. So I'm going to try that today. But I also wanted to start with just the singing bowl so we can listen to those vibrations, maybe tune into the sound as we begin to let other things go and begin our practice. So I was thinking about a theme for this class this week. Several things crossed my mind, but one that I thought is particularly relevant is one of the niyamas. I've talked a little bit before about the yamas and the niyamas, which are the sort of guidelines or moral principles part of yoga. And the last niyama is Ishvara Pranidhana. And basically, if you were to translate that down to one word, a lot of times it gets translated as surrender. But it doesn't mean surrender as in give up. It means surrender as in let things over to something higher than ourselves. You may think of that as God or some other figure, but basically letting go of our worries and things, and then just trusting and having faith in a process that is outside of ourselves. So I wanted to read a little bit about that from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which defines various different aspects of yoga. But this is Sutra 45 from chapter 2. It says, by surrender to God, samadhi is attained. And samadhi means contemplation or concentration is another translation I've heard. And just one little paragraph in this section says, once we give everything to God, we are renunciates. We have nothing to possess. And when we have nothing to possess, we have nothing to worry about. All worry is due to attachments and clinging to possessions. The attachment, I mean, is a mental attachment. What we want is a mental rather than a physical detachment. We can even possess things physically if we are mentally detached. This is continuous samadhi. We shouldn't think samadhi means sitting in a corner, forgetting ourselves, and keeping the body still like a rock. Real samadhi means tranquility of mind, which is possible only when we dedicate everything and are free from all attachment. So we will kind of a theme throughout the practice, one simple mantra that I like to repeat for myself for this one is let go. So as you inhale, you can think let. As you exhale, you can think go. And I thought this is a fitting theme for this class because we're going to be doing a lot of contralateral and crosslateral movements with our body, which are really good for our hemispheres, making the different hemispheres of our brain work together and integration of that. But what that also does is bring us out of our low brain up into our higher brain. And our low brain is, sometimes this is called like the reptilian brain. That's where things like our fear and our survival instincts come from. And I think that, even myself, I think I'm going along pretty good, and then all of a sudden something just hits me and I'm like, there I am. And these practices help to bring you up to your higher brain, your more rational, like contemplative, thoughtful brain. So with that, let's get started. We're going to start on our back today, and just start with some simple movements. So we are going to work our way into a little bit more active practice, but just start nice and simple on your back, just like you're resting in Shavasana. Just notice your breaths here for a few moments. And then on your next inhale, extend the fingers on your right hand. As you exhale, just let them curl naturally back in. On your next inhale, extend the fingers on your left hand. And then as you exhale, they'll just naturally curl back in. Now this time, as you inhale, extend the fingers on your right hand and flex your left ankle. Exhale, let both of those relax. Inhale, extend the fingers on your left hand and flex your right ankle, pulling your toes in towards your shin. Exhale, let that relax. Inhale, right hand, left ankle flexes. And exhale. Inhale, left hand, right ankle. Two more times on your own breath on each side. Inhale, right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. One more time. And then we'll do a few times, both hands, both ankles. Extend your fingers out, bring your toes in towards your shin. Exhale, let that relax. Inhale, extend your fingers, flex your ankles. Exhale, let that relax. This time we're going to bring a little bit more movement in our arms. So you have a few options here. We'll inhale, bring arms up towards the ceiling, both arms. And then if you want, you can bring your right hand all the way down to the floor above your head. And then exhale, bring your right hand back to meet your left. Let both arms fall down towards the ground. Inhale, both arms up towards the ceiling. And then you can let your left arm continue all the way to the ground above your head. Exhale, bring your left arm to meet your right, and then let your arms float back down. This time we'll bring our feet into it as well. So inhale, raising your arms up. Let your right hand continue, and as you do, imagine there's a string from your right hand to your left toes, flexing your toes, bringing them in towards your shin. Exhale, relax that back down. Both arms, sorry. Inhale, both arms come up, and this time your left hand continues as your right ankle flexes like there's a string connected from your left fingers to your right toes. Exhale, bring your left hand back to meet your right, and then they both float back down together. So inhale, both arms up. Right hand continues as you flex your left ankle. And exhale, both arms meet each other and then float down together. Inhale, both arms up. Your left hand continues overhead as you flex your right ankle. Exhale, your left hand comes back to meet your right. Both hands go down together as you relax your feet. Let's just do a few of these together, both hands, both ankles. Inhale, arms up, and they continue all the way overhead as you flex both ankles. Exhale, float your arms back down, relax your feet. Inhale, both arms overhead, both ankles flex. And exhale, let your arms float back down, let your feet relax. And just stay here for a moment, just notice how your body feels. How's your breath feel? How's your nervous system feeling? Inhale, let. Exhale, go. You can just bring your knees into your chest, both knees one at a time. And then we'll just have our hands on our knees. We'll rock from side to side just a little bit. Just imagine like you're in a boat on a lake with some gentle waves just rocking you from side to side. And then if you want, you can let your knees start having some movement, maybe moving forward and back a little bit. You could circle your knees. And then bring both knees back to center and then just roll over onto your right side and use your hands to press yourself up into a seated position. We're going to do some seated arm extensions. Similar to when we were on our backs, we'll inhale, bring both arms up to shoulder height, and then we'll continue with right arm. I'll mirror you actually. So inhale, your right arm continues up. Exhale, when it meets back up with your left, let both arms float back down. Inhale, arms come up to shoulder height. Your left hand continues up overhead. Exhale, float it back down, and then when both arms meet up with each other, they can both float back down together. Now if you want, you can do you could do hands on chest here instead, and then just open up into a cactus. That would be an option, or even the salute. So you could have your hands on your chest and bring alternating hands up to your brow. So inhale, both arms together. Right hand continues up overhead. Exhale, float that back down. Both arms float down together. Inhale, both come up. Your left hand continues overhead. Exhale, float it back down. Both arms float down together. One more time each side. Inhale, they both come up. Right hand continues overhead. Exhale, it floats down. They both float down together. Left hand continues overhead. exhale, floats back down. They both float together. And then we'll do a few together. Inhale all the way up overhead. And exhale, float your arms back down. Inhale, back up. And exhale, float back down. Now if your breath goes faster or slower than mine, that's perfectly okay. Don't feel like you need to keep up with me or slow yourself down. Either way. So now we're just going to do similar movements. We'll bring our arms up and then we're going to twist. So we'll twist over to the right to begin with. Your left hand can just come to the outside of your right knee and your right hand can rest behind you. You can turn your head to look over your shoulder. We're just going to do these pretty quickly here though, so don't feel like you have to get fully deep into the twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale to twist over to your left. So your left hand comes behind you, your right hand on the outside of your left knee. Inhale back to center. And make sure you're not using your hands to like force yourself into a deeper twist here. Just let your body control how far you are twisting. Exhale, twisting to your left. Inhale back to center, and this time as we exhale to the right, we'll just stay for a few breaths. As you inhale, feel length through your spine, lifting your ribs up out of your hips. And as you exhale, maybe you twist just a little bit deeper. Nothing might not even be too noticeable. We'll inhale back to center and then exhale, twist over to the left. Again, feeling nice lengthening through your spine. And as you exhale, maybe you twist a little bit deeper and turn and look over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center, and then we're going to come onto our hands and knees, coming into tabletop position. So here's a place where you might want to, if you're on a hard floor, you have sensitive knees, put a folded blanket or towel or something under your knees for a little bit more padding. Have your tops of your feet relaxed here, and we're just going to inhale to tabletop, exhale. Let your elbows sink down and then your hips towards your heels into child's pose. We'll inhale back to tabletop and send your right arm out long in front of you. Exhale, set your right arm back down to next to your left. Lower your elbows, lower your hips. Inhale back to tabletop, send your left arm out in front of you. Exhale. Bring it back down to meet your right. Lower both elbows, lower your hips. This time as you inhale, raise your right hand and raise your left foot in the back. Exhale, bring both those back down together. Lower your elbows, lower your hips towards your heels. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, bring that back down. Lower into your child's pose. Inhale, right hand, left leg. Exhale to lower. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, lower your elbows, lower your hips. Inhale, this time both arms, both legs. Just kidding. Right arm, left leg. Inhale, left arm, right leg. And this time as you exhale, we'll stay in child's pose for a few breaths. So You might widen your knees a little bit more so you can let your belly drop down towards the mat a little bit more. You can send your arms out longer in front of you if you like. If your forehead doesn't come all the way down to the mat, you might bring your arms in. You could see if stacking your arms one on top of the other gives you enough space there, or you can even prop your head in your hands with your elbows bent. On your next inhale, we'll come back up through tabletop and then make your way all the way up to standing, nice and slow. No hurry here. We're going to do similar arm movements to when we were seated, but with our mountain pose. And you have the option to make this a moving mountain. So if you want, as we inhale and bring arms up, you can come up onto your toes and lift your heels up off the ground. So we'll inhale, we'll just do a few with both arms up. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, both arms. Exhale to lower. This time we'll bring both arms up halfway and then continue all the way up with your right arm. And exhale, bring it back down to meet your left, and then they both come down together. Inhale. Your left arm continues overhead. As it exhales, it meets back up with the left, and then they lower back down together. I'll just show another option here, which is the cactus arms. So you can inhale, arms to chest. Exhale, you can bring your right arm out to side. I did that wrong. Inhale. And then you could, on the next one, bring your right arm out. Left arm, sorry. I'm getting myself confused. Mirroring and all this cross-lateral stuff is a little too much for my brain today. All right, so if you're doing just the full arms out to side, inhale, I think run right arm up overhead. Exhale, bring it back down to meet your left, and then both arms lower together. Inhale, both arms up to shoulder height, left arm continues overhead. Exhale, they meet back up with each other and lower together. And you can lower your heels there. We'll do a few more just in center to balance things out. Inhale, both arms overhead. You can look up if you like. And as you exhale, float your arms back down. Inhale, just back up, and you can stay here for a few breaths, getting our balance, all of our little proprioceptors, recognizing where we are in space and trying to tell our brain. Exhale, lower your arms back down. Oh yeah, this is a fun one. I really like this. Okay, I had to remind myself. We're going to start with, okay, yeah, no, you just do this. Okay, so you're going to inhale, I have to think about mirroring you. Inhale, arms out to your side and lift your right leg out to the side. As you exhale, cross your hands over your heart and cross your right leg over in front of your left. You can put it down on the floor if you want to, that's perfectly fine. Inhale, arms back out to the side, your right leg out to the side. Again, it can be touching the ground, no problem. And then as you exhale, bring your arms behind your back to your low back and bring your right leg behind your left leg in the back. So we'll do that again. Inhale, arms out, leg out to the side. Exhale, hands cross over your heart and your leg crosses in front of your left leg. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, hands go to your low back, and your leg crosses behind. A few more times. If you really want to challenge your brain, you can try to remember which hand was on the bottom and alternate. Inhale, arms out to the side, right leg out, and then exhale, your leg crosses behind, your hands cross behind. All right, and then just bring that back to center, to shake it out. Maybe do a little bouncing here. I like, my teacher Christine calls this the wiggle and jiggle. It's fun. All right, now you can, this time we'll inhale, arms out to the side, lift your left leg out to your side this time, coming onto your, primarily your right foot, and this foot can touch down. And then as you exhale, you're going to cross your hands in front and cross your leg over in front. Inhale, arms out to the side. And if you want, you have that option. Try to alternate which hand touches your body first. Crossing your leg behind. Inhale, out to the side. Exhale, cross your leg in front. Inhale, arms out to sides. Exhale, hands to your low back, and your foot crosses behind. One more time, I think, on this side. Crossing over in front. Inhale, arms out to side. Exhale, arms to low back, your hands to low back, and leg crosses behind. All right, and let's just come back to our Tadasana, mountain pose. Just check in for a moment. I didn't really ground us here, so this will be a good opportunity to feel that weight through your toes and your heels, the outer edges of your feet, a little uplift in the center of your foot, bringing that energy up the inside of your legs. Your feet are about hip width apart, your knees stacked over your ankles, your hips over your knees, shoulders over your hips. Check to make sure your shoulders are low, down away from your ears. Relax your forehead and your jaw. Have a soft little bend in your knees. Maybe you bring back that mantra, inhale, let. Exhale, go. All right, one more little bit of a balance pose here before we move on. So those poses kind of prepared us to do eagle pose. So we'll inhale, arms out to our sides, and you can bring your right arm under your left. So your left arm's on top, and then you'll take your left leg over the top of your right leg. And you can bend your knees a little bit here. And if you don't like the eagle arms, you can just give yourself a hug too. Forgot to mention that as an option. And your toe can touch down, maybe. I think this is a balance challenge for me anyway, even with my toe touched down. But sometimes I'm able to lift my toe up, and you might even get your toe to wrap around your calf. All right, just release your arms, release your legs, shake that out. Okay, I think I had you do that on your right foot. So now you'll shift your weight over into your left foot. Inhale, we'll do our arms first actually. So inhale, arms up, and left arm under right this time. And then your right arm's on top. So your right leg goes over your left leg. A little bit of a bend in your knees. You can have a little kickstand with your toe there. And maybe tuck your chin a little bit. All right, let that go. Yes, that's a good one to let go. Shake it out. Okay, we're going to come to the top of your mat, so the narrow edge, both feet, and finding that Tadasana position again. And step back comfortably with your right foot. Turn your right toes out a little bit, but your legs will kind of stay more or less hip width apart. Just check that that feels like a good, fluid, moving position for you. And we're going to start with Warrior One variation. So you're going to have your left foot is in front. You're going to have your left hand on your left hip. And as we inhale, press into your back foot, bend into your front knee, and raise your right hand up overhead. And exhale, let your arm float back down, straighten your front knee. Keep a little soft bend in it though. Inhale, bend into your front knee, raise your right arm up overhead. Exhale, float your arm down, straighten your leg. We'll do that one more time. I'm going to step back a little bit actually. It's close to the bed there. All right, and then this time, when you get back, let both hands go. We're actually going to this time, as we inhale, we're going to put the weight into our left leg, but we're going to move our right leg forward, and we're going to raise our left hand overhead. So we'll inhale, bring your right leg forward, and your left hand comes overhead. And exhale, we're going to reverse the arms. Set your right foot back behind you and bend into your front knee, coming into Warrior One. Inhale, windmill your arms. Bring your right leg forward and your left arm up. Fun balance challenge for me today. Okay, exhale. Place your right foot back down. Right, I think it's somehow with my balance getting thrown off, I switched my arms there. Okay. Inhale, left arm up, right leg up in front. And exhale, back to Warrior One. Plant your foot, and we'll just stay here for a few breaths. Feel that grounding through your feet, the energy coming up through your legs, lengthening up through your spine. And exhale, float your arm back down, straighten your leg, and then step your right foot up to meet your left. Just take a moment to notice how your body feels. Maybe you notice a little different one side to the other. All right, and then step comfortably back with your left foot, turning your left toes out a little bit. Need to widen my stance here. See if that helps my balance on this side. All right. So your right hand is going to come to your right hip. And as you inhale, press in through your back foot and bend into your front knee as you raise your left hand up to the sky. And exhale, float it back down. Remember, you have options here, cactus arms or doing the salute. One more time like this. Exhale. Release both hands down by your side. Just kind of think about it mentally to your head before we go into it. You're going to put your weight into your right foot. Bring your left knee up in front of you, and your right arm is going to come up. So Inhale, left foot up in front, or knee, right arm. Exhale, bring that back, step your foot down, bring your left arm up, coming back into warrior one. Inhale, left knee, right arm out in front. Exhale, step back into warrior one. Inhale, and exhale back to warrior one. I think that maybe I cheated us out on one, but we'll stay in warrior one here on this side. A few breaths. Feeling that grounding through your feet, strength and the energy in your legs. Exhale, let your arm float back down, straighten your leg, and then step up. Bring your feet together. And just take a moment to notice. Notice how your body feels, how your breath feels, how your nervous system is feeling. You can come back to the center of your mat if you want. At least I am going to, so I can face the camera here. You might have your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. We're going to be bending into our knees a little bit, so maybe your toes turn out a little bit. That feels better on my knees at least. We're going to inhale, arms up overhead, or I had to think about this. Yes, inhale, arms up overhead. You're going to exhale, bring your left hand to your right shoulder and your, sorry, my brain is so confused by this mirroring today. This is my right. Your left hand to your right shoulder, your right arm out to the side. And inhale, bring arms up overhead, straighten your legs. Exhale, bend into your knees. Bring your right hand over towards your left shoulder and your left arm out to the side. And you can gaze down at your fingers. One more time. Straighten your legs, arms up overhead. Left hand, right shoulder, right arm out to the side. Inhale back to center. And looking over towards your left. And inhale back to center. All right, and we'll just do a symmetrical pose. So walk your feet back in towards each other, so they're about hip width apart. And we're just going to do a few Utkatasana or chair pose here. So as you inhale, you hit your hips back a little bit, raise your arms up overhead, or cactus arms is a nice option here. And then let your arms come down, come back up to standing. Come into your chair pose. Come back up. One more time, and we'll stay for a few breaths here. Just building a little bit of heat, a little bit of strength in our legs. And gaze towards the horizon. This is also called fierce pose. You can think about that. That reminds me to bring my eyes up. All right, let that go. Maybe shake that out a little bit. All right. And we are going to make our way down back onto the mat. Sort of transitioning to our more grounding poses. Again, you can bring a blanket in under your knees if you need a little bit more padding. We're going to do a pose called lightning pose. So you're on your knees here, so it's sort of like a little mini Tadasana. Your hips are over your knees, your shoulders over your hips, and you can inhale your arms up overhead. As you exhale, you're going to bring your right hand to your low back, and your left hand is going to come out in front of you, And we're going to sit back like we're coming into child's pose. Inhale, bring both arms back up. Exhale, this time bring your left hand to your low back. Your right arm is going to come down out in front as you sit your hips back towards your heels. Inhale, bringing yourself back up. Arms. Exhale, right hand to your low back. Left arm comes out long in front. Inhale, bring both arms back up. Exhale, left hand to low back, right arm stretches out in front. Inhale. One more time on each side. So exhale, right hand to low back, left hand out in front. Exhale, left hand to your low back. Right hand comes out in front as you sit your hips back towards your heels. Inhale, both arms back up, and we'll just do a few with both hands, sitting your hips back. Let both arms come out long in front. Inhale, really engage your back and your abdominal muscles here to bring yourself back upright. Exhale, lower your hips. Let your hands float down to the mat. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, let your arms float back down to your side. And just take a moment to notice how your body feels. Tune into your breath. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Ishvara Pranidhanana. Surrendering to something higher than ourselves. All right, we're going to make our way all the way down onto our bellies. And you can rest your forehead on the mat and bring your hands to your low, just to rest on your low back here. Just notice how that feels. And then on your next inhale, release your right arm and bring it out either in front of you or just to like a cactus arm position. And raise your chest up off the ground as well. And then exhale, bring it back to your low back, and your on your back, the back of your hand is resting on your low back. Inhale, this time release your left hand either to come out in front of you or to like a cactus arm as you raise your chest. Exhale, tuck your chin, lower your forehead, bring your left hand back to your low back. This time as you inhale, you raise your forehead, raise your chest, bring your right arm out and lift your left foot up off the ground. And exhale, return everything back. Inhale, release your left arm and raise your right foot up off the ground. Exhale, tuck your chin, lower your forehead, lower your arm and your foot. One more time each side. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lifting your forehead and your chest, your left arm, your right leg. Exhale, return back down. And we'll do both sides, both arms, both legs. exhale, return back down. And one more time. We'll stay for a few breaths this time. Maybe you stretch your arms out if you haven't already. And exhale, just come all the way down to the mat. Maybe you stack your hands one on top of the other and just find a place to rest your forehead. All right, and then when you're ready, make your way over onto your back. I'm just going to roll all the way around here. Okay. Now you can keep your feet on the mat here if you like. The soles of your feet on your mat, your knees are bent up towards the ceiling, or you can lift your knees up off the mat. We're just going to do some arm and leg raises up towards the ceiling. So to start with, just inhale, raise your right arm up, just so your fingers are pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Exhale, float it back down. Inhale, this time your left arm, fingers straight up towards the ceiling. And exhale, float it back down. This time you're going to raise your right arm and your left leg. So almost like you're planting your foot, like you're stepping on the ceiling. And exhale, let your arm and your leg float back down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, float back down. Remember, you have the option, your knees up off or your feet up off the ground, or you can have the soles of your feet on the ground. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Sometimes these contralateral movements are called like cross crawl, and this is almost like a crawling type motion that we're doing, and that's really good for a coordination. Really good coordinating both sides of the hemispheres of our brain. Bringing us up out of that lower reptilian brain where our fear and our survival instincts reside. We can more easily get into our parasympathetic nervous system when we get into our higher brain. All right, this next time as you inhale, bring both feet and both hands up towards the ceiling. And exhale, let them float back down. One more time, both hands, both feet, and we'll let them stay up for a little bit. So you might want to do a little bit of shaking here. That might feel nice. You could circle your wrists and your ankles a little bit. And then when you're ready, let that float back down. We just have one more posture. I'm going to move a little bit further down. A little limited on space here, but make it work. All right, so we're going to come into bridge pose here. So to start with, we'll just come into a normal bridge. So palms of your hands down towards the mat. As you inhale, compress into the palms of your hands and just lift your hips up off the ground. Soles of your feet are on the mat, knees bent. And exhale, just lower your hips back down to the mat. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, just lift your hips. And exhale, that float back down. This time we'll bring the arms into it. So inhale, you can float your right arm up. Actually, we're going to do both arms. Forgot. We're going to do this. Both arms up towards the ceiling, and then right arm can continue overhead. Exhale. Right arm meets back up with the left, and then you lower both down together. Inhale, both arms come up, but this time your right fingers will stay pointing towards the ceiling. Your left arm will continue overhead. And then as you exhale, bring it back to meet your right, and then lower your hips down, lower both arms down. And you can do this with cactus arms too. You could have just your bringing one arm up and down from the cactus position, just keeping your elbows bent and bringing the hand forward and back like that. All right, so inhale, arms or hips up, both hands come up, and then your right, I think, continue all the way down. As you exhale, bring it back to meet your left, and then both lower down together and your hips lower down. Inhale, both come up, so fingers are pointed towards the ceiling. Your left hand continues all the way down. As you exhale, bring it back to meet your right, and then lower your hips down to the mat. And then it's always good to do a little symmetrical after the asymmetrical. So we'll inhale, lift your hips up off the mat, bring both arms up overhead. Exhale, float your arms down, and try to coordinate with your movement of your hips. So your arms are going to have to move a little bit faster. You're going to have to move pretty low with lowering your hips. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Lower your hips, lower your arms. And now you can send your feet, your legs out long. Just maybe rock your ankles from side to side a little bit, your wrists. Just let go of any remaining energy that you might be holding on to. I like to kind of rock my head a little bit from side to side. You can tuck your chin just a little bit, just so you feel a nice lengthening through the back of your neck, and then just let it come to a nice neutral position. If you like, you can cover up with a blanket. If you have an eye pillow, you might put that over your eyes.